In this video, I want to show you how to connect your Avolites console or Avolites software to the Visualiser Depence2. Basically, if you already know how to connect your console to any kind of visualizer, you already know everything that you need to set up in Titan. There is no difference to any other kind of visualizer that you are connecting to compared to Depence, so it's exactly the same. The only thing you have to know is how to set up Depence then. So that's why we're going to have a first look now at Depence, and we will set up Depence. So I will open Depence on my machine. And then we are going to start in the top with the settings tab and open the network settings of Depence2. In here you can see your network protocols. ArtNET and streaming ACN is important for us. So we will check that they are using the correct network adapter of your system. So in my case, it is this network adapter. You may have multiple network adapters available. So check in here that you're using the correct one. And then Depence2 will show you your IP address assigned to this network adapter in here. So that means Depence will now listen on this IP address on this network adapter for ArtNET. Once we set this up, we can confirm with OK. And then you need to note that you will have to restart the software if you made any changes in here, so that the changes are actually going to apply. In our case, we didn't do any changes, so we don't have to restart in here. And we will immediately go to the next step, which is the hardware tab. In the hardware tab, we are going to select plus, and then we are going to add a virtual show player, select OK. And then we already see in here streaming ACN and ArtNET. As you can see, both of the tabs look exactly the same. In our case, just for example, I will continue now with ArtNET. I will enable the ArtNET input, choose if I want to use LTP mode or override mode. So basically that just means how Depence is handling the incoming data, if it should use it with LTP or if it should override the internal data. In our case, we are using the external console. We want to use it as a solo controller. We don't want to use any built-in controller from Depence, so we will select override mode. And then in here we can see in the top here we can see the ArtNET universe inside of Depence, so the Depence universe. And in here we can see our incoming ArtNET universe. At the moment they're all at 0, so we're not seeing anything there because nothing is coming yet, but we could just set it on time manually to 0 here, and then you will see just how it will look like if a console is connected. So it will be like 0, 1, 2, 3, just going on. Important here to notice is that Depence is starting to count from 1, and normally ArtNET is counting from 0. So your ArtNET universe 0 will be the Depence universe 1. In case of Titan, this doesn't make any difference because Titan is already also counting from ArtNET 0, so we don't need to make any changes in here. We don't need to set any offset or something. This means that we are basically already done in Depence. This is all we need to set up in Depence. We can immediately switch now to Titan. In Titan, we do a quick check. We select right-click Avo or Shift Avo on the console, then go into System, check the network settings. So you should be familiar of the network settings with Titan, and just do a quick double check in here that you are also using the correct network interface in here and that your IP address and everything is set up correctly. Once we're done with that, Evo is still shifted, the key, and then we're going again into System, and we will select the DMX settings now. From here, we will just patch one ArtNET universe, and then select the little gear icon. And the most important setting is in here, the IP address where we are sending our ArtNET protocol to. So as we saw before in our Depence configuration where we selected the network adapter for ArtNET, we saw the IP address in there of the Depence machine. So we are going to type this IP address now in here. It is 192.168.2.191. This is what we assigned before in Depence. And basically that's already it. So if you would run streaming ACN, of course you would patch a streaming ACN into line 1. In our case we used ArtNET, that's why I patched ArtNET now. But as soon as you did this setting, as soon as you patched it, and as soon as you selected the correct IP address in here, Depence will already receive your ArtNET signal coming from the console. This is all you need to do. If there are any problems occurring, then you should check a few stuffs. Number one, if you're running both softwares on the same system, this can cause problems. So you should check out loopback adapters. I will put a link in the description describing loopback adapters. So this is important if you're using both softwares on the same system and you want to send data from one software to another software via ArtNET over network. So check out the description for the explanation of loopback adapters and how to use them. Another problem that may occur is very basic, and that is your firewall or antivirus software. So be sure on your Depence machine and on your PC machine, if you're running a Titan Go, for example, if you're not using a console, be sure to check on the systems if you have any firewall active or any antivirus program running that may be blocking the incoming ArtNET signal. So this is it. Basically just 4 or 5 steps to connect the console to Depence. Very basic, very easy. And I hope I could help, and then see you in the next video. Bye bye.